In his very first month, US President Donald Trump has issued a barrage of executive orders. Today, we break down every order and its impact on the nation. Stay tuned as we explore how his policies are reshaping America. On 20th of January, he targeted alleged abuses of power by ending what he called the weaponization of the federal government, revoking several Biden-era orders, redefining sex categories to male and female, restoring free speech by ending federal censorship and terminating radical DEI programs. He also revoked security clearances for 51 officials over the election interference, established the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, led by Elon Musk, reformed federal hiring practices, and revamped policy influencer rules. The following day, he enforced civil rights by ending illegal discrimination and nullified COVID-related mandates. Further actions included forming a FEMA assessment council on the 24th of January, issuing a directive to celebrate America's 250th birthday on the 29th of January. And in early February, setting up the White House Faith Office, eliminating the Federal Executive Institute, launching a workforce optimization initiative, establishing the Make America Healthy Again Commission, creating the National Energy Dominance Council, and finally, on the 18th of February, requiring all agencies to submit their regulations for the White House review. On 20th of January, Porter set an America First tone by prioritizing US interests over the global concerns. That same day, he withdrew the US from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement, ordered a 90-day pause on foreign aid, and even renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. On the 22nd of January, he designated Ansar Allah as a terrorist organization targeting the Houthis in Yemen. The foreign policy shift continued into February. On the 4th of February, he ended US funding to certain UN organizations, including the Human Rights Council. On the 6th of February, he imposed sanctions on the International Criminal Court, and the next day, he took executive action against the South African government. 3 days later, that's on the 10th of February, he paused enforcement of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act to bolster national security, and on the 12th of February, he issued an order to strengthen unified US foreign policy stance. First day in office, the administration took sweeping actions to bolster national security and tighten immigration. Cartels were officially designated as foreign terrorist organizations, and measures were strengthened to protect the US from foreign terrorists. The death penalty was expanded for federal crimes, while orders were issued to remove undocumented immigrants and deny citizenship to certain US-born children. At the same time, the refugee admissions program was realigned, a physical border wall was mandated, and military involvement in border security was clarified and strengthened. Moving on to tech and economy. On 20th of January, the administration delayed the TikTok ban for 75 days, aiming to protect Americans from foreign adversaries. On the 23rd of January, a President's Council on Science and Technology was established to advise on tech and innovation, while steps were taken to boost US leadership in artificial intelligence and digital financial tech, supporting blockchain, crypto, and digital assets. On the 31st of January, a deregulation push was launched, requiring the removal of 10 existing regulations for every new one enacted. And of course, on the 1st of February, there were shockwaves sent through the globe when tariffs were imposed to address border and drug issues. 25% on goods from Mexico and Canada and 10% on Chinese goods. A couple of days later, border tariffs for Canada and Mexico were paused for 1 month to allow negotiations, and a proposal was made to create a US-owned sovereign wealth fund. In terms of health and education, on the 24th of January, the administration enforced the Hyde Amendment, revoking Biden's executive orders on abortion access. 4 days later, on the 28th of January, it banned certain medical procedures for minors to protect children from chemical and surgical mutilation. On the 29th of January, 2 major education measures were announced. One, to limit the controversial educational content and end radical indoctrination in schools, and another, to expand educational freedom by supporting school choice and alternatives. On the 14th of February, the government ended COVID-19 vaccine mandates in schools, effectively banning forced vaccinations. And finally, on the 18th of February, support for in vitro fertilization treatments was increased, expanding access to IVF. When it comes to military and gun control, on the 27th of January, the administration prioritized military excellence by focusing on strengthening readiness, reinstating service members discharged over COVID vaccine mandates, and taking measures to restore America's fighting force. That same day, the Defense Department was ordered to plan for a next-generation missile defense system dubbed as the Iron Dome of America. On the 7th of February, steps were taken to further protect Second Amendment rights and strengthen gun ownership. In terms of natural resources, on the first day in office, the administration moved to boost energy production by opening up Alaskan resources for development, increasing U.S. energy output, and declaring a national energy emergency to enhance energy independence. 4 days later, the emergency measures were introduced in California to improve disaster response and secure water resources. And of course, there were some miscellaneous orders. On the 23rd of January, the administration declassified assassination records involving JFK, RFK, and MLK. 6 days later, on the 29th of January, it implemented measures to combat anti-Semitism. Then, on the 5th of February, a controversial order was issued banning transgender women from competing in female sports. The following day, on the 6th of February, steps were taken to eradicate anti-Christian bias by targeting discrimination against Christians. Finally, on the 10th of February, the government banned the procurement of paper straws.